and this presentation is about cybersecurity, protecting your business from cybercrime. And my name is Ryan Ortiz, and I've actually been hacked. So in my personal experience, I've actually seen a little bit of everything. So I've been everything from identity theft to my high school son even getting hit by ransomware. So anyone who actually says it can't happen to me, anybody can be a target. So kind of an agenda for today is the overview of cybercrime, cybercrime as a service, and also some good tips to protect your small business. So what is cybercrime? Cybercrime is a criminal activity involving the internet, a computer system, or computer technology. And since 93% of all money is digital, there's a ton at risk. And cybercrime activity is the highest ever. We're seeing this going through PCs, computers, mobile devices. It goes through everything. We're seeing this not only here in the States, but worldwide, and it's being organized everywhere, almost like cybercriminal gangs. We're seeing black hats that have stolen information on 100 million people. We've seen breaches from major companies like JP Morgan, Chase, E-Trade, Dow Jones. Hackers and conspirators were in more than a dozen countries. One of the indicted had hundreds of employees. So it's becoming another facet of a business organization. So what is black hat crime? Black hat cybercrime is a form of malicious online behavior motivated by profit and predictable ROI. Again, these criminals are looking at techniques, just like regular business owners, of how they can use tools, techniques, ecosystems to go ahead and do malicious behavior online. The bad actors are not a monolithic group. These can be anywhere from non-professional criminals that use kits to make spending money. Gray hats, they offer legitimate services and they're run as a business. Black hats, they treat cybercrime as a business. They're state-sponsored, they have technical expertise, and they often use red hat, black hat resources and techniques to mask their identity. And then you also have hacktivists, so individuals or groups who hack for a social cause without economic motivation. They have technical people and followers. The tools, techniques, motivations, and business models vary by cybercrime region. And the cybercrime problem is broad and getting worse. More professional cybercrime services make it easier for would-be attackers to become cybercriminals. In many regions, it's socially acceptable to steal from victims on the internet. The line is blurred between state-sponsored attackers and cybercriminals. One thing I can definitely say from personal experience from having identity theft is the fact that since they can't prove who did it, it's almost impossible to prosecute. So the lines for laws are quite blurred for cybercrime. And it's never been easier for entrants into the market for cybercrime. And they're looking at as cybercrime as a service, just like software as a service. So you have remote control Trojans, you have account checkers, and both of these software pieces right here are just making it so easy for people to get in and just do things as a kit to actually try to drive cybercrime. And there's even data behind this to understand what the market for freshly infected PCs to push malware to. And what does that cost? And how does that affect each individual market? And not only are we seeing that from a PC perspective, but we're also seeing that from mobile devices. So how are these kits used? And how are they monetized? So we have botnets and malware. And a botnet is a network of devices infected with malicious software that is centrally controlled. Malware is malicious software that takes advantage of the user, device, and network. Phishing. We see a lot of campaigns that include spam. The intent is to trick the user into giving up their password, account recovery information, or personal information. And then, as I stated earlier, with ransomware, it holds your PC or files for ransom, prevents you access to your PC, and they're asking the victim to pay to regain access. So considerations when combating cybercrime. To be successful in cyber defense, one needs to know what are effective and durable mitigations. Defenders must not rely on their users doing the right thing at the right time. And that's critical because the way that this is set up, social engineering can trick the user to doing the wrong thing at the wrong time. So you really have to be proactive to prevent the attacker and prevent the attacker from predicting the return on investment. And this could include monitoring for their probes, enabling defense measures to act between their probes and attack. So how can you actually keep your business safe then? You want to strengthen your computer's defenses. Make sure to always keep your firewall on. Turning off, even for a minute, increases risk. A firewall creates a barrier between your computer and the internet. It's like a door. Keeps the bad weather out of your house. Make sure to install legitimate antivirus software from trusted sources. This is extremely critical. Keep your software up to date. This is a big glitch that a lot of people that were prior to Windows 10, a lot of these were pushed almost somehow manually. Now with Windows 10, we're seeing that pushed a lot more automatic. But Microsoft typically chooses the second Tuesday of every month as Microsoft Tuesday and pushes the majority of their patches on their OS. And other software platforms, they're always patching software because things can be broken where they're seeing that there's risk. So make sure to keep it up to date. So here's an email message that crooks sent to thousands of top U.S. executives. It appeared to be an official subpoena from the U.S. District Court in San Diego. Each message included specific information and directed him or her to appear before a grand jury. The message urged the recipient to use an embedded link to open the subpoena. However, anyone who clicked the link unwittingly installed software that secretly captured passwords, usernames, account numbers, and other company data. Another reason to keep your antivirus up to date, applications patched and enable your browser's phishing and malware protection. All these, plus others, are layers to protect your devices and networks. And this is critical. Don't be tricked into downloading malware. Close pop-up messages carefully. I can't tell you how many times I've seen people do the wrong thing by trying to click buttons. And by doing the wrong steps, they're just opening the door. When you're looking at this graphic here and it says Internet Explorer, your PC is infected with spyware, and it's asking you to click here, here, here. Those malicious pop-ups that come up, those buttons can be programmed to do any action they want So cancel could be okay, okay could be cancel, and the X button won't even probably work. So definitely try to press Control F4 to close out the application. So how do you protect your company data and financial assets from all these types of attacks? Because we're seeing employees asked to confirm passwords in an email sent by somebody posing as their system administrator. You're giving these criminals access to the company network, which brings businesses to a halt. So there's a lot of good basic things that you and your employees can do. Encrypt confidential data. Office and most enterprise apps allow the data to be protected, so it can't be accessed if it were stolen. Rights management solutions can handle sensitive data. For example, copy the data off your network or print it. And this is kind of an ongoing thing. You want to ongoingly train your users to identify scams and fraud. There's a lot of online and free classes. For example, Microsoft.com/protect and stopthinkconnect.org. So how do you evade scams? Look for telltale signs. And important, if it's not even spelled right, obviously don't click it. Think before you click. Keep sensitive information private. Never give information like a username or password in response to a phone call or an email message or other online requests, even from a coworker. It's critical to train your employees to identify socially engineered attacks. So step 4, create strong passwords. Keep them private. Don't reuse them. Passwords are one of the critical items that keep bad guys out of accounts and off your network. So the biggest thing is, how do you create strong passwords? Which passwords are strong? So we're going to go through and we're going to talk about different examples of strong and weak passwords and how they can be either construed as strong or weak. So let's take a look. So password number 1. It's a weak one. We have a birthday or an anniversary, for example. That information, I can go to Facebook, I can go to other social media. There's just so many areas I can go to find that information, and it won't even cost me $1. So that's definitely going to be weak. Advantageous, still considered weak. These are just very simple things that anyone can utilize a single word, find it in a dictionary, any language. You want to create something that is unique. Swan rice red door. This is a good strong password. It uses words that don't make sense when put together. In their common password list, bad actors keep common phrases and numbers. So it's critical just to mix things up. And when you're looking at subsets of numbers, at some point, anybody can throw any set of numbers in there, and at some point, things are just going to work. So you definitely want to stay away from that. MSAW3YO explanation point D. What combination could that possibly be? I have no clue. But since I have the key to this, everything makes sense. We used a sentence. My son Aiden was 3 years old in December, and we used the first character from each word in order to create a strong password. This way, number one, you have something you can reference to remember that password mentally, and a way to recover that to, of course, utilize that when you do need to put in the password. But strong passwords aren't enough. Protect your accounts and passwords. Keep them on Post-it notes on their monitor, or keep them in password management tools are available to help manage passwords. That just doesn't work. You have to have a way to actually manage things in a proper format and standardize that amongst your employees. Because too often users use common passwords for different accounts on different services, and you really got to make sure that they're unique passwords for different areas that they're going to. And most importantly, employees should not use their computer, their company email and password on third-party services. So they should not tie them to things like LinkedIn, Facebook, etc., in order to gain access to those different locations and those different services. And you definitely want to make sure to defend against checkers. So this is critical. So you want to enable disabling accounts on too many invalid login attempts. You want to get them away from using insecure interfaces on their systems. And you want to consistently monitor for compromised account checkers. Step 5, guard data and devices when you're on the go. Again, protecting your network data doesn't stop when the data leaves your network. Too many companies spend all their time and effort protecting their computers and network, but then allow the sensitive data to walk out the door on the employee's unprotected and unsecured mobile devices. So you want to make sure you're guarding company data when you're on the go. You want to connect securely. Use caution when accessing sensitive data on public Wi-Fi spots. VPN is a great way to protect your PC communications from eavesdropping. You want to make sure you can confirm the name of hotspots and URLs, because any typo can lead you to a malicious site, which can allow phishing and malware. So you definitely want to confirm. Encrypt data on mobile devices in case the device is lost. Flash shots. Watch out for unknowns and disable auto run. That's critical. You want to make sure to disable auto run so something doesn't automatically run when you put in that flash drive. Because you could literally be setting yourself up with a virus just like that. Enable features like work folders and cloud storage to manage work data on mobile devices. This way, they're not accessing it locally on their device. And in this case, if their PC or their mobile device is lost or stolen, you're not losing sensitive data. So what do you do if there are problems? You need to pre-plan for events to happen. Understand what data and devices are sensitive and how it's protected. You need to train your employees to report suspicious issues. immediately report missing devices or theft of company data, change those passwords, and wipe mobile phones. At this point, if there are any questions, feel free. Otherwise, for additional information, you can contact us at info@vcsolutions.com. And we thank you so much for your time today. Thank you so much. We appreciate your time. We will be having another session tomorrow, so we'll hope that you can join us. Take care and have a great day.